Hello and welcome. I'm Michelle with Paper Stamp Ink. Thanks for stopping by today. So I get asked sometimes from some of my friends and customers, how do you get started making a card? Where do you is your jumping off point? Sometimes it's fun to just grab some things, start playing, use our catalog from Stampin' Up as a resource. You can copy the cards that are in there. That's a good starting point. Sometimes I use sketches as a starting point. So I just want to walk you through my process today, and we're going to make a card together. So I decided to pick out a sketch that I liked, and you can find these all over the internet. This one's from Operation Right Home. Pinterest is a great place to start for sketches too, and this is sketch number 107 that we're going to start with. Now, I don't always follow exactly the dimensions, but it gives me kind of a general idea of where I might want to go, and then I can play with it as I would like. So then I decide, what's my inspiration? Is it paper? Is it a stamp set? Is it a certain color? Is it a theme? Am I making a card for a certain event? And I really wanted to play with paper today, and I really was wanting to play with the wood paper. So this is some of our wood designer series paper, and this is just a few of the patterns in there. These are just gorgeous. I love these patterns, and I picked this one is one that I wanted to use today. And so these designer series papers, by the way, several of them are on sale this month for buy three, you get the fourth one free, and that includes most of the paper pads. You can get the information on my website at www.paperstampink.stampinup.net. And that's ink like I-N-K, like the ink, not like the corporation. So I thought this one, I really like the grain. I like the little lighter tone. And then I kind of went through some of my scraps and picked out some colors. I may or may not use all of these because we're going to create this card on the fly too. So I've picked out some Pear Pizzazz, some So Saffron, some vanilla, very vanilla, and some soft suede. And then I grabbed my ink pads too, and I grabbed the Pear Pizzazz and the So Saffron for those, and then I went to one of my favorite stamp sets, Dandelion Wishes, because I think we're all in love with this stamp set. So I thought I'm going to grab that one as an inspiration, and then I thought let's get embossing folder and maybe some dies. So I've got my petal burst embossing folder. I thought would be a good tie with the dandelions and the greens, and my handy dandy circle dies, because we've got the circle on that inspiration sketch, so I can definitely need those. I also grabbed this one. I thought, well, that's got a circle in it. Maybe I'll use one of these swirlies from the, I think this is called Swirly Brown. So the name's escaping me right now, dies. And so then I went to my stash and pulled out some ribbons and just have these things handy. So I've got my linen thread, the polka dot ribbon. I don't have any ribbon right now on hand in So Saffron or Pear Pizzazz, so I stuck more with the whites in the tans. So I've got my white with the silver edge and the burlap ribbon, because isn't that gorgeous with the wood grain. So have those, and then you got to have some bling. So I've got some rhinestones and I've got some glitter enamel dots. And we're not going to use all of this stuff by any means, but that just is what I do sometimes to get started. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I want to use the Very Vanilla for my base. So let's get the trimmer out, and we're going to cut this at the standard 4 1/4 by 11 card base. And I'm going to get my scoring tool, score blade out here, and I'm going to score that at 5 1/2. Put that away. Give it a nice fold there. And looks like I must have got off a little bit on my score. So that's okay. We're just going to take the bone folder and we'll get a nice even card there. A nice flat crease. All right, so let's see. I'm going to play with what direction I kind of I think I want the green for my background. I may use this layer for some matting. So let's get our sketch out. And they've got this 3.5 by 5 inch piece. I think I want that to be my wood piece as kind of the main focal paper for the card, but I also want to have some embossing behind that with the petal burst. So I'm going to shrink this down by 1/2 inch on each side to give me more opportunity for that background to show. So we're going to go 3 by 4.5. So let's give that a try. And I do like this wood grain going this way, but you can have it, actually that's kind of pretty too. So, but I think I'm going to go this way. I like having some of that darker tones on there. So let's see. So we're going to go 3 by 4.5. Okay. And now so that's going to be our stamping layer. My layer for my embossing, I'm going to do at, let's see, let's go at 5. We're going to take a 1/2 inch off on both sides. Well, actually, let's take 1/4 inch, okay? Go 5 1/4 by 4. And that's going to be the part that we're going to emboss. So we have our layers going here. And let's see, do I want to use the soft suede? So, take your papers, kind of layer them, see what you think. I think I'm going to give it a little tiny border around there. So we had gone at 5 1/4 by 4. I'm going to take just 1/8 of an inch, give it a little 1/16 of an inch border when I do that. So we're going to go 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And that's just going to give us a very slight little border. I like a lot of layers and matting on my cards, as you might have seen. And then I think I'm going to use this in the sketch. We've got a scalloped edge, and I was kind of thinking I might use that for the scalloped edge, but I think I don't want to have too many different things going on with the texture and the embossing and the circle. So I'm just going to do a strip here, and I'm just going to cut a little 1/4 inch strip. It's a little bit easier to go this direction when you're cutting small pieces, at least for me it is. So I love how we have the measurements on the other side there. I'm going to just do a 1/4 inch strip, and rather than measuring all of that out, I'm going to cheat and do it the easy way. And I'm just going to put a little thin dab of glue there. Let's see. And I'm just going to have this little accent of yellow peeking out there. Come in with my scissors and just give that a quick trim off. There we go. All right, we're getting there. Time, I think, to bring in the big shot, and let's do the circles and the embossing piece of this card. So let me grab that. Bring this big shot over. And I have seem to have misplaced one of my plates for my big shot. So let's see if I can figure out what I did with that. Give me a thumbs up if I'm not the only one who misplaces things in their craft room from time to time. Well, I wanted to show you guys a really quick card, and I'm not going to be as quick as I had hoped with that missing plate. Here we go. Found it on the other table where I last used my big shot, and so I want to run this piece through the embossing folder. So I'm going to get out that petal burst embossing folder, And for the embossing folder, I need to open this up to tab 1, and different Big Shots are going to have different platforms, so just make sure you're following the directions for yours. And we'll roll this through. I'll try and keep my arm out of the way there. And this is where the magic happens. I love the Big Shot. So roll that right through and look at that beautiful dimension that we have on there now. Just gives that extra little bit of texture. Now, while I've got this out, let's go ahead and cut the circles for our sentiment. And so what I'm going to do is when I am using circles for sentiment, I will come in and kind of play with, take my sentiment and set the circles over it to make sure I'm getting the right size that I want. So I'm going to give a little, I think that one's probably good fit. And then let's find the scalloped circle that is going to be just slightly larger. Now I could make that much larger if I wanted to, but I think I like that there. So I'm going to cut this out of the Very Vanilla to match our base. And I'm going to cut this one out of that So Saffron to get a little bit of the yellow in there. And so here's our 2 pieces. I've got my base plate down. I'm going to do the Very Vanilla with this white circle. Oops. And again, just line that up. Quick run through. And I've got that a little bit off camera for you guys, so I'll try and scooch that over for the next one. But there we have our circle piece. And shift that over slightly. And we're going to do the scallop piece out of the So Saffron. A little bit of jostling there. Hopefully it's not coming through too wiggly on the video for you guys. And so here's my So Saffron piece. All right, let me put those circles back where they belong before I misplace those, and we'll set them aside, get this Big Shot out of the way. I think we're done with that. And now we can move on to putting our card together. So I'm gonna start thinking about where do I want to maybe use some ribbon, or do I want to use some ribbon? You don't have to use ribbon on every card or dimensionals on every card. I have to remind myself of that sometimes because I do like to add my dimensions. So I can either take some ribbon and put it all the way around on this card. I could put it just on this piece. We could have a little bit sticking out maybe from, you know what, I think I maybe kind of like that. I think I'm going to go with a little piece sticking out from underneath my sentiment strip. So I'm going to cut a strip of that. We'll have that aside. We'll do our stamping now that we know where everything's going to go. Since this is going to be layered on here, and we've got the dandelions. You know, I think, I'm hoping this is going to show up, the So Saffron on this. It is a little bit lighter color, so let's give it a whirl and see if we can get that to show up on this lighter wood color. And it does, it's very subtle, and just some layering. I kind of feel like that's going to get lost. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come in and stamp another one of those in the Pear Pizzazz. So you know that this is on the fly And you know what? We're going to kind of offset that. Let's see. And it'll give us a little bit of a shadow effect there. Okay. I think that's kind of fun. And this is going to go down here. All right, so let's come in and let's do the pear pizzazz as well for the sentiment, just to bring a little bit more of that green in there. Wishes for a Lifetime of Love and Happiness, by the way, is the one that I picked when I was deciding which stamps to use. And now we can start putting this together. So I'm going to take my layer of soft suede and put that on there. You know, if you like seeing me make the cards up as I go, give me a comment. Tell me what you think. If you'd like to see me do more of these videos, you know, I want to put out information that you guys are interested in seeing, not just what I'm interested in doing. All right, let's go ahead and hear this one. I think I'm going to do that flat, and then I'm going to use dimensionals for the sentiment. I'm going to put that up in the corner. Put this on here. I love this Tombow Mono Multi. It just adheres so well, and it allows me to have a little bit of wiggle room when I'm trying to get my sentiments or my pieces adhered down. And so let's see, I'm going to put this, I think, right there. All right, and so I am going to use some score tape to put that down. I just think it's going to hold a little bit better than the wet glue. Sometimes these don't want to behave. Put a piece there and another little piece on top to hold that this down over here. So if you are looking for some Stampin' Up! Products, I sure would appreciate the opportunity to earn your business. And I like the way that one's flapping up there. So please check out my store if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And you can order any of the products that I'm using today on my online store. And you can take advantage of that great deal on the Designer Series paper as well. So let's go ahead and pop this up on the dimensionals. And that sweet and give this a little trim down. And now we can decide, do we want to add some bling, some dimensionals, the enamel dots, and gosh, you know, I really like to add glitter. I don't know if this one needs it, but I do think I'm going to go ahead and put some right in the center of those green dandelions, just to draw the eye right there. And there we go. Quick, simple card. I know it took a little bit longer kind of explaining the process, but I sure hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you are interested in seeing more of my content, please subscribe to my channel. There's a button down below. Tap the bell to like or to get notifications of videos as they're put out. And please give me feedback on what kinds of things you would like to see me share. Have a great day and keep creating.